ברוך אתה ה' אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Rabbi Chaim Angel, a very noted New York rabbi, wrote an essay not too long ago about some figures in the Bible that are not very well known. And I would like to spend some time with you about one of them. His name is Hur. Hur. Who was this man, Hur? He appears a couple of times in the Bible and then he disappears. He appears basically in 2 episodes. One of them is when our ancestors left Egypt, they had to battle Amalek. That is the traditional enemy of the Jewish people. So the Torah says that Moses implored God to help the Hebrews, to help the Jews be victorious over Amalek. So he raised his arms heavenward, and as long as he kept his arms up, the Hebrews would be victorious. If he let his arms down, Amalek was victorious. So in order to avoid him letting his arms down, because after a while he just grew tired, on one side Aharon, his brother, and on the other side this man Hur helped him hold his arms up. They put a stone, he sat on a stone, and they each held one of his arms up, and this way our ancestors were victorious. This is the way he appears. Later on in Divrei Hayamim, which is the last book of the Bible, there is a description of the different generations. Then it says that this fellow Hur was actually the husband of Miriam. Miriam was the sister of Moshe and Aaron. So it makes sense that he was with them at that time. Then he appears another time. The other time that he appears is when our ancestors, seeing that Moshe was not coming down from Mount Sinai, after receiving the tablets of the law, the Torah, they grew impatient. They thought something terrible had happened to Moshe. So they went to Aaron and said, you know what? You have to build for us a new God. And they built the Egel HaZahav. This is the golden calf. And they started worshiping this golden calf. Well, Hur, when he saw that, he certainly was against that 100%. And the mob simply killed him. You know, they were full of fervor. We have to find our way, somebody who should lead us in the future. And they made a golden calf. What did Aaron do? Aaron, seeing that you cannot argue with people who are in such ecstasy, seeing what happened to Hur, he decided to take a different approach. He said, you know what? We will negotiate. Let's see what we can do. We'll make a golden calf and we'll see what will happen. In the meantime, he was hoping that Moshe would come down so that this mob that wanted to build a golden calf should be kept quiet for a while until Moshe came. So we see, this is this man Hur. He gave his life because he opposed idol worship. On the other hand, he helped Moshe. Aaron was different. And we have 2 different approaches. Either you oppose directly a sin, an immorality, or else you look how to negotiate. Let us see what we can do, how we can solve the problem. You get near to the people and you tell them, you know what, maybe for the time being you need this, maybe later on you'll change your mind. You become a little more flexible. The question is, how should one react in front of evil? Should you be absolutely against evil? Or should you be somebody who looks for some kind of accommodation, a meantime solution until a better result can be obtained? I think that we all confront these problems in life. Shall we oppose directly those that we think are destructive forces in nature, or shall we try to negotiate with them, to soften them a little bit, to try to live with it somehow, hoping that eventually you will do something that will be a result that is pleasant, that is the right one for society? Well, Hur showed us that in front of evil, there's no accommodation. You have to be willing to give your life. Aaron said something else. Which path should we choose in the future? You know, humanity is confronted by many situations right now in world politics, in different countries. There is evil going on. How shall we confront them? Shall we simply destroy them, or shall we try to integrate them, to make an accommodation with them? It is not an easy solution. But I just wanted to bring to your attention that there were those people like Hur who never were willing to negotiate with evil.